Hey guys, it's Brianna, and today we are making a today we are doing a reusable DIY. So if you've ever made a tie blanket, you will have the squares left over. Normally you'll have 8. I've got quite the collection of fabric squares because where my sister works, they make a lot of blankets in the winter for the children's home and for each other. So about 80 to 90 blankets made all these fabric squares, and I've got them organized. It did just look like a colossal mess in here. Just started organizing all of the fabric squares, and oh my gosh, there are so many. This will take a while. But after a couple hours, they're all aesthetically pleasing. Here are all my neutrals because I didn't know exactly what I was going to make with them yet. And there's some really fun prints in here, like these llamas with glasses and just different things like that. So I'm going to be teaching you how to make this. This is on Marley's Monsters. It's $36 or $38, which I think is a little bit expensive even though it is a reusable product. I just feel like some of their stuff I can make myself because I had so many squares. But if you don't want to make your own, go to Marley's Monsters, purchase it. I haven't bought anything from them yet, but I'm going to, so I'll do a review on that later. But today I wanted to see if I could make it, and if not, then I could always order it. So what you'll need for this DIY are obviously some fabric squares, and you'll need a stick. This actually came together. It is a 1/2 inch by 36 inches. I used a handsaw with my boyfriend, and we cut it to the length that I wanted. I didn't really measure it or anything like that. And then you're going to want to sand the ends because you don't want splinters or any of that. Take the piece of sandpaper and just kind of rub it around. You could even rub the sides if you want to create a rounder shape rather than just a clean flat edge. After you pick out what squares you would like to use for your duster, then pair them up the way that you want them laid out to be sewed. So just pin it like this, each 2 squares. When you open it, it'll look like this. And then we're just going to sew each one on the top with a super close seam allowance. This part gets sewn wrong sides together, so what I mean by that is the ugly seam is going to be on the inside. You only need to sew about 1 inch to 1/2 inch because these sides are going to be cut open. What you can do is either put the right sides together and sew it this way, but then when you open it, it's going to have a little bit of a crease again. So I'm going to try to do the zigzag, and we'll see what it looks like. Start it in the center just because it'll be so much easier. Go over it as many times as you want for however bold you want the line to be. Once you're done sewing all the pieces together, you're going to take the fabric wrong sides together, so it's going to have these seams. And you're going to put them together like a sandwich. Then you're going to take your stick and go about as far as you would like to go. Then just take some pins and start pinning it down. Feel around and try your best to make sure that the seams are somewhat lined up. It's not the end of the world if they don't, because you're going to be using this yourself. Once you're happy with your pins, then just go ahead and flip it. Make sure that it looks good on the other side as well. So you're just going to sew around the pins, but take the stick out. You don't want to break any needles. It's not worth it. And start sewing. And don't forget to change your machine from zigzag to straight stitch. And then gently start curving it. I was worried I made it a little bit too small, but it's perfect. So as you can see with my rounding, it's not perfect stitching at all, but it'll do the trick. The last thing you need to do before this is completed is just to cut down the middle, and you are done with your 2-ply duster. If you want to add more than just the 2 layers, all you have to do is grab 1 layer, either the top or the bottom, doesn't matter, and sew it on top of that one. You don't want to sew it on all the layers, because then it's going to be too thick for your sewing machine. Pieces are going to get stuck inside and you're going to be really frustrated. So since my sewing machine doesn't like sewing multiple pieces of fleece, it ends up looking like so. So what I'm going to do is just sew this up. I'm just going to connect the two top pieces in the center, and it's going to make it look more full. I'm going to take some pins and just pin them together to create the illusion of clean lines. So I'm just going to hand sew this up. Remember when you get close to the end that you're only going up to a certain point. And then for the knot, make sure that you do it on the underside. Alright, so Marley's Monsters duster and various dusters that I've seen on Etsy and different things that are reusable, they have their slits quite a bit thinner than these. So we're going to cut them now. Make sure you switch over to some fabric scissors. I'm just going to cut these in half right here. No going back.